Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So I just woke up this morning and realized I didn't have a video for today, so let's film one, see what comes out, and yeah. So when I was kind of like tapping into the decks, it was like, which ones do you want to use today? The first one they showed me was a Citadel one. I was like, okay. And then I kept walking, and then they brought me to the Sacred Web Tarot, and then they brought me to the Syrian Starseed Tarot. And I kind of saw it as like, oh, how do I explain what I saw? I saw like a starseed journey, and I saw the Sacred Web as like darkness. It's like the shadow side within here on Earth. And then I saw the Starseed one kind of like a galactic above. And then with the Citadel, it's kind of like all different people. There's like all different occupations and jobs and people within this city. And that's what I saw. I saw a starseed here on Earth in the dark, playing these roles. So that's like the energy that's coming through. And then I don't have any other insights. So let's just shake up the cards and see what the rest of this starseed message is. And like how big these cards are. They're massive. Like I can't even like shuffle it properly. So just be patient with me. We're gonna have to go a different way. All right, so I feel like maybe let's start with these ones. We'll start the story, and then as I'm kind of like tapping in, I can shuffle those ones. Yeah, I like them, but man, that's way too big. Okay, so I pulled out 3. We got a little bit of fiery energy coming through. And with this fiery energy, I keep seeing it as a change, transformation, and soothing waters kind of coming through. So when I think of starseeds, I don't think of fiery anything, to be honest. When I think of galactic, Syrian starseed, the web, I think of like dew, I think of coldness, I think of, you know, all that. So this fire, I'm kind of like, what's going on with that? And then here we have 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, it is 9. Just wanted to clarify. We have 9 of Wands, and there's a fox there. So fox can kind of be a little bit of trickery energy. And then over here we have this card came out in my last reading, and I remember that reading, looking at this as like a chicken having its feathers plucked out, that kind of thing with the praying mantis. And it mostly is like all this heat, all this fire. And so I am kind of picking up that a little bit of the past memory from that one is leaking through. But I also had an insight from that reading as well. Because in that reading, it was all about like conflict between others, like a major fight. It had to do with like, well, it was like the battle of the light and the dark. It was like the high priestess battle, showdown kind of thing. And the energy of it kind of was like them fighting like cats and dogs. And so that's the energy of like what's coming through with this fire. It's like something that is so outside your normal realm that it's just like it doesn't make sense. Like, why is there this like watery, cool starseed energy being bombarded with fire? So that's kind of like the next, oh, this one flew out. So we have 5 of Cups, but it came out in reverse, which is all about like emotional upset. So I get this fox one, right? There's this fox, which is all about trickster energy. We have the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands is about someone who's been in conflict, right? And it, I feel like the first set or the first blow of whatever this conflict is, right? I'm seeing the 8 of Wands come before the 9 of Wands. And the 8 of Wands is usually like 8 arrows going directly at something at like super quick, swift thing. And I feel like that's what happened, is like the first blow kind of came. And so the first one kind of came and it brought this fire energy. So I'm picturing a lot more like protection now. And the first one, maybe you got burnt, maybe something, but, and it caused a little bit of emotional upheaval, unrest. Like, what's this fiery? Like, how did I get tricked? What's up with that? I'm seeing a little bit of doubt within yourself, but only on the first blow. I feel like this is coming back around and somebody has gotten wise, somebody's grown and learned from their mistakes. And with this 9 of Wands, so when the first one came with the 8 of Wands, in that quick direction, it kind of rocked their world. But now with the 9 of Wands, it's like standing guard energy. It's like, I'm expecting this to come. I'm expecting all of this to come and I'm ready for it. And I've actually got some tricks up my sleeve now, because as that trick, I'm not going to take it on. I've learned to transmute it, right? So over here we have it like almost like I feel like it's coming, it's going to hit, right? There's this fireball from above coming to rock them. It's going to hit. They've been hit before. They know what it's like. So now when this energy comes, it's like they take it in, and they've learned to do the watery aspect, right? Fire and water, cats and dogs, ebb and flow. So I feel like with the Starseed, especially with this 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups is all about emotions and being sad and like grief and loss. But that's what the Starseed does, is they tap into the dark, into the abyss, and they navigate the emotions and how things work and feel. And so when this fiery energy comes, I feel like it's almost like I see someone being like in this peaceful energy, like in this hanged man kind of energy. Let me look a little more. This card, perfect. Look, down here, it's like two elk, 2 abysses, 2 something, right? They've got horns and they're ramming each other. It's that 2 of the conflict of the energies that don't seem to mish and mash well. And again, I feel the first time that this happened, it got rocked. But now I feel like by these 2 powers coming together, it now has created something new. It's taken this thing that's coming, right? This meteor above, and kind of protect themselves. It's like they learn to take the fire or sensing like it's anger or it's rage or it's something outside of yourself, right? And so someone's learned, they're telling me to take that emotion of it, find that protection, so they still keep staying in the peace. In this one, there's like major conflict happening. Worlds are getting rocked, but it's all in the light. It's learned to really find the peace of it all. So I see them taking the rage of whatever conflict it is and like taking that rage and somehow making it be, I heard super fun, happy disco party or something like that. And like, so with that music, I heard more like a really like upbeat techno music, like learning to take that anger, like maybe heavy metal or like, I don't know, I don't listen to that kind of music. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing someone really learn to like take that and then use their emotions to elevate it to something else. And so it doesn't affect them. There's no more grief, loss, and this being sideswept, right? No more taking blows that come from outside sources, I hear. So the next card to come out was, we do have Divine Justice in reverse, which I find kind of interesting why that would even come out. Because in this one, I feel like there is this balance. It's learned to take the 2. Oh, the only reason why it's not balanced in Divine Justice is because whatever this energy is that's hoping to burn you, it's still being sent your way. So the Divine Justice or the balance is the other side. It seems like on your side, you've really learned to find emotional fulfillment, and so it doesn't rock you anymore. But it's still being sent, and that's the problem with the energy of the universe right now. So the scales aren't balanced. It isn't in reverse. Someone's not learning their lesson. And the whole lesson of this is to grow up and evolve past it, past our little bit of petty insecurities is what I'm hearing. But that's what I'm getting from this energy. They've learned to ascend. They've learned to take the fiery or the hate or the something within whatever this attack is and make it turn sparkly, which is a huge talent. It really is. And so I got 3 more cards that kind of like flipped out. So let's see what they are. We got the 9 of Cups. So once you've actually learned to take something so fiery from above, the sun is hot, the sun is fire, right? And so someone has learned to really tap into that fire. The next one to come out is the Hanged Man, and he's just sitting there in like a little pendulum, changing his perspective. And then the last one to come out was the 7 of Crystals, which would be 7 of Pentacles in reverse. There's something to do with quartz right now. Just let me get that message. Oh, well, I'll just show you how. Okay, so over here we got the 9 of Cups. And he's got these 9 crystal cups. There's the light shining into it. It has something to do with this ascension. And that ascension has something to do with you emotionally learning your lesson. So here we got these like crystal clear prism things. And then with the Hanged Man, I'm seeing like this be a quartz pendulum. And so now with the quartz pendulum, you can channel that energy from above, which is what this one is, right? There's the sunlight, there's that pure light, comes in through your crown, into your heart, out your hands. So when you have a pendulum, you can get answers. It's just another way of divination. So I always say when you use a pendulum, right, put yourself in your column, right? Bring that light down your crown, into your throat, third eye, throat, into your heart. Anchor it. From your heart, you want to pull all that down through all your other chakras, right into the center of the earth. Here we are balanced and grounded, but we're still getting that information from above. And you come back and live in your heart. That's where you get all the best downloads and insights, because your heart's guiding it. I'm even seeing in this divine justice, look, she's holding the scales. She might as well be holding a little pendulum, which is pretty much, she is. That's what this is talking about. Even this looks like a pendulum, kind of. What do pendulums? A pendulum is almost like a form of like getting answers. So you can bring that energy from you. You do need to make sure you have a clear mind. And that's what I get from this, with this 5 of Cups and chalices and things like that, is that this person has found purity within whatever this attack kind of thing is. They're like, I know it's coming, I know all these things, but I know that I'm a powerful alchemical magician and I can change things. And so by bringing that in and changing that, having a clear mind, you can get clear answers, right? And so you ask a yes or no question. Figure out how the yes on your pendulum works. Figure out how the no on your pendulum works. And then once you kind of get that, right? Maybe yes and no goes in a straight line, whereas yes is a straight line and no is like a circle or something, counterclockwise. I don't know. Pay attention to just how you interpret the energy. And then what I'm seeing is that, and it said, find out your yes and no. And how do you do that? Well, you find out by asking questions that you already know the answers to. So ask it a yes question that you know your mind won't cloud. Because I find mostly when we have these questions, when we go to tarot or divination, it's usually like a question we don't have the answer to, something. So we do have to find out how to be a little bit more clear in our mind to accept the answers. And I feel like that's actually what this whole reading is about. Having a clear enough mind to accept the answers and intuition you're being given. And so maybe this pendulum is just a different way of getting the same answer as what you've been doing. Spirit's telling me that someone keeps doing something over and over and over, and right, and they're working with this, and it's like they're not really feeling fulfilled with this, right? They both got this like crouched, like there's something to do with emotions within this crystals, and not feeling good about your divination or hearing your guides. I feel like someone's like, I keep practicing, I keep meditating, I keep doing all this, I keep trying to change, and Spirit's just saying with this Hanged Man, maybe don't try as hard. I know that sounds like silly advice, but the more when you keep trying and like containing and making something work, I feel like that's where this 5 of Cups energy comes, because you know that if I don't get this right, this fireball is going to come and burn me, and then I'm going to be sad, and it's like you're trying to avoid this emotion, but just go with it. Be open to whatever comes through, and don't try to control and change the answer. And with that, I see them kind of, I don't know, there's something to do with these 2 cards coming. They're both, okay. So in the first reading where this one came out, it was someone always like throwing negative energy at them. It could have even been a form of like spiritual attack, something like that, right? When you start working with energy. And so this person being like, no, I've got to learn to protect myself. I've got to learn this, because like they keep throwing things at me, and I just can't be harmed anymore. But I'm seeing someone kind of looking over their shoulder, and it's like the more you look over your shoulder at them to see what's coming, what attack they're doing, what negative energy they're throwing, I'm seeing you lose your power in that. So the Hanged Man saying like, change your direction, and I see someone working so hard. I see this actually as like almost the Magician's card. The Magician has all elements, fire, water, earth, air, and they use them all to create what they want to see. But I see someone here coming from a lack. They're like, I got hurt, I got burned, I don't feel happy within this, I have grief, loss, and something. So I really need to focus on this and finding the answers quick before I get burned again. And that's where I feel like this divine justice has gone in reverse, and it's kind of stopped this Ascension card. But that's energy that has been unfolding no matter what. So I feel like within this reading, somebody got rocked. Somebody got rocked by something that was so vastly different outside of themselves. It was a fire and water type situation, cats and dogs fighting, and you got a little bit burnt. And so you don't want to get burnt again in the future. And so you've tried everything within your control to stop and control and manipulate the situation. And you've learned a lot, I'm hearing from this. You've learned how to not take on things and whatnot. But within this, you've also learned to tap into protection. With this protection, I'm seeing it be like different ways. It taught your mind to think differently through each circumstance. And that's the pure gold of this. That's that light of the situation. I feel like the way for you to shift, to go from, whatever this guy's doing with the 7 of Pentacles, and like working on it and focusing on it. Like there's so much going on in the background here. Like, there's all these people doing these things. And he's like, nope, I'm only focused on this. But we got this huge tower in the background I'm being drawn to. And that one, like it brings me to this image. There's this tower. In tarot, the tower is always about like this unforeseen circumstance outside of yourself that like, right, the king and queen are at the top, and like light hits it. The light hits the tower, and then this tower gets shook, and everything that is unstable kind of needs to find stability, right? And that's why in the card, the king and queen are flying out, because they weren't quite of the light. They were more controlling. So I feel like whatever you're focused on, like this little thing, it's like there's something in the background that is so much more important. And so it's like saying, don't focus on the small things. And again, I see like something as above, right? There's this fireball from above kind of coming that burnt. And I think that's what happened before. So someone being like, I'm only going to work on this. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing just a little bit of something to do when it comes to these crystals and light. But let's use the Citadel cards because I just realized I had forgotten all about them. I see you keep thinking that you're in this big battle, that you need to protect yourself and that it's coming. But by you having it happen the first couple times, you got lit on fire and you learned to transmute that and work through it. And so now I see it as you have that protection and you've learned new modalities and new ways of like helping yourself. And so from that, there's like no more emotional worries because you really tapped into something of transmuting light and hearing intuition of the light. And it's because before you thought things had to be this way intuitively, but you learned that you can do so many other things. And so that's why you're not in this grief and sadness. And so I see outside things still kind of coming, but because you've really tapped into this light and this illumination, I see it almost burning up. I'm almost seeing like a meteor about to hit Earth, right? This is a meteor coming to Earth. And everyone's like, oh, it's going to come, it's going to rock us. And this person being like, I don't even care. I'm not even going to focus on that. Because by the time it gets into the atmosphere, it starts to catch on fire and burn up. And then this light turns it into like tiny, tiny particles that for some reason, this meteor never hits the tower. This might be your castle and someone's trying to knock this down and your stability is so solid because you keep focusing on the light and something to do with crystals, and it protects you. It protects your foundation. It's weird to see the tower but never have a tower moment. This is a very firm tower. They say go back to the Hanged Man. You need to change your perspective about what this tower is. Because you keep thinking that tower is supposed to be on fire and everyone, it's all about deception and bad. And there was a viewer who just wrote a comment this week, was like, thank you so much about talking about positive towers. And I even get with that, at least that one still got knocked over. This one's not getting knocked over, but it's still a tower. And I feel like that tower is only a tower moment for the people outside you. For you, it's spirit. It's your connection to spirit. I'm almost seeing it as like, in Egypt when you go and they have all those temples, a temple. It's a temple. So the first one we got was the queen. A queen for the tower. I heard I only need 2. Oh, that doesn't count. And then we have guide. And this one says inheritance and correction. This one says determination and sacrifice. So that's what I'm seeing is this little praying mantis. I almost always saw it as like a chicken who had like their feathers pulled out, and I see it all the time. I don't know why, but that's what I see is like a young girl, a young boy, a young energy stepping up into this queen energy, and like, right, I transmute all this, whereas the first ones always came and like burnt them, and they're like really needing to learn the balance between fire and water, light and dark, yin and yang, cats and dogs, something to do with that. And so I see you stepping up into this boss queen energy. That's your castle. That's you there working on whatever it is internally, skill wise, that really helps you connect to the divine And this divine always guides you and whispers to you and brings you to the proper place of abundance. And look, with the guide card, that's what I'm seeing is I keep hearing liquid light, and liquid light and crystals have something to do with something. I don't know why the crystal message isn't coming out. But to sum up this story real quick, I see things outside of you being thrown at you. And as a starseed, maybe you're in this place and you have this higher vibration and you're just like, I'm not used to what this is. Earth is very heavy. Earth is very dense. All these things keep getting thrown at you and bombarded. At one point, it used to make you feel really sad and isolated and alone. But I get from enough of this back and forth type energy, it's made you really step into learning how to transmute and do things. That's what the crystals are doing. The crystals are doing the transmuting. He's transmuting this heartache of grief and sadness into this liquid like crystals that brings empowerment. And by doing that, we have emotional fulfillment. Because we have emotional fulfillment, we step into this queen role that has now started to bring divine justice. We look at things differently, and we're a lot more flexible because we have this intuition that could be like, hey, look over here. This normally used to be a bad thing, but if you were to actually just stay there and add a little bit of stability to it, add a little bit of this light tower into it, you could have a castle to call your own home. And it won't be so sad and unfulfilling. All you have to do is just follow your guidance and learn to be flexible. Because I feel like all this energy that gets thrown at you, you keep transmuting, right? You keep changing it and like you're protected. But because you take that and you balance it, you really learn to find this peace within, this something. And it's really made you level up into your queen mode. And because now that you're in your queen mode, we got divine balance. We got the good and the dark and the light. And we're guiding you to take that energy even farther. We're going to take this and bring in the Ascension card. So I want to end on this Ascension card. That's what I see as the Starseed message. I see all these little worlds, and it gets darker, or it's light almost, and it gets like, what am I trying to say? I'm seeing just like an energetic stamp of it, and then it repeating itself, and the more and more that it kind of gets stamped, the more and more solidified it becomes. And that's what I'm seeing. So whereas before it was like I saw the starseed be like cold, like in a dark, cold void space that had like dewdrops or something, was cold and wet maybe, and being the fire throne, I'm almost seeing that starseed, once they get into their intuition with their guides and they work with the crystals or whatever it is, I'm starting to see them become liquid light. And I see them holding a frequency that's different than Earth, different than this fire energy. And it's almost like a stamp. The more and more they energetically transmute this, the more their energy becomes clear with this crystals. And so it's like things are becoming, this stamp, this energetic stamp is becoming more solidified. I see them bringing their energies here to Earth and manifesting, I'm hearing denser new realities that comes from their lineage, their stars, their guides. It's a lot higher. There's a lot more to do with higher vibrations being manifested here and solidifying it. Anyways, I feel like there's more to that. And if there is more to it, it's all about meditating or reflecting on this card. Like, why is the tower not a tower moment? Why is he not even paying attention to the tower? What is he doing with the crystals? This was in reverse, so it's like there's still a little bit of something to learn within this. I'm hearing castles in the sky. It's like these daydreams, these castles in the skies. You have this imaginary whatever, but I see that being energetically stamped and then turning real. It's like, that's a tower, that's a tower, that's a tower. But now, physically on Earth, there's a physical tower. Something to do with safety, home, and your abundance. So we'll leave it there. I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.